T20 World Cup after 17 years.
Argentina, champions of the world!
According to the World Sports Encyclopedia book, there are around 8,000 indigenous sports and games worldwide. However, only 40 to 50 of these sports are famous globally. In this video, I will reveal the 15 most famous sports in the world and which country dominates each one. Football is the most popular sport in the world, with a global fan base of around 4 billion. The FIFA World Cup is the main event in football. Football is mainly famous in South America, Europe and Africa, but other continents also have a huge fan base. In men's football, Brazil has won 5 FIFA World Cups, while in women's football, the USA has dominated, winning 4 FIFA Women's World Cups. Cricket began in late 16th century England, but it is currently the most popular sport in South Asia. The ICC World Cup is the main global event for cricket. Except for the Maldives and Bhutan, all South Asian countries actively participate in ICC World Cup events. India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka have each won several ICC World Cups. India is a key country for cricket and the main revenue generator for the International Cricket Council. However, in terms of performance, one country dominates ICC events. In men's cricket, Australia has won 10 ICC World Cups across 30 different tournaments. In women's cricket, Australia has won 13 ICC World Cups out of 20 events. Thus, Australia dominates both men's and women's cricket. Rugby is not famous all over the world. It is popular in Europe, some South American countries, some African countries, and most notably, it is the most famous sport in the Oceania region. Especially, the small island nation of Fiji has won 3 titles in the Rugby Sevens World Cup. Additionally, in the main Rugby World Cup event, the South African men's team has won 4 titles. When considering both major Rugby World Cups, the New Zealand men's team has won 6 titles out of 18. In women's rugby, the New Zealand women's team has won 8 titles out of 13 Women's Rugby World Cup events. That means New Zealand dominates both men's and women's rugby globally. Basketball is one of the most famous sports in the United States, with the NBA being the most renowned basketball league in the country. This sport is also popular worldwide. When considering global basketball events, there are 2 major types. They are the FIBA Basketball World Cup and the FIBA 3x3 World Cup. In the men's FIBA Basketball World Cup, the United States and Yugoslavia have each won 5 titles out of 19 events. In the FIBA 3x3 Men's World Cup, Serbia has won 6 out of 8 titles. So, which country is the best in men's basketball? The answer is Serbia. Since Serbia was formerly part of Yugoslavia, we can consider Serbia as the best in men's basketball. However, in women's basketball, the United States dominates, having won 14 out of 27 World Cups. Athletics is a group of sporting events that involve competitive running, jumping, and throwing. When it comes to global athletics events, the most famous are the World Athletics Championships and the Olympics. The United States has dominated world athletics, winning 195 gold medals in the World Athletics Championships and 358 gold medals in Olympic athletics events across both men's and women's competitions. Hockey has 2 main types. They are field hockey and ice hockey. Let's start with ice hockey. This sport is most popular in Canada and several European countries. The main global event for ice hockey is the Ice Hockey World Championships. In the men's championship, Canada has won 28 championships out of 87 tournaments. The Canadian women's team is also dominant, having won 13 championships out of 23 tournaments. Field hockey, on the other hand, is more widely popular around the world and has a larger fan base than ice hockey. The major global tournament for field hockey is the FIH Hockey World Cup. The Pakistan men's team has won 4 Hockey World Cups out of 15 tournaments. In women's field hockey, the Netherlands has dominated, winning 9 titles out of 15 Women's FIH Hockey World Cups. Table tennis is very popular in many Asian countries. The World Table Tennis Championships, organized by the International Table Tennis Federation, is a major event in the sport. China has dominated the World Table Tennis Championships, winning 158 gold medals across both men's and women's events. Baseball is not popular in every country. This sport is most famous in the USA, Japan, Cuba, and Venezuela. but currently, many other countries also have their national baseball teams. The Baseball World Cup was the main global event for the sport, organized by the International Baseball Federation. However, in 2011, this tournament was ceased, and now the World Baseball Classic continues as the main event. In men's baseball, Cuba has dominated at the world level, winning 25 championships out of 43 tournaments. In women's baseball, Japan has been dominant, winning 7 consecutive championship titles out of 9 tournaments. Swimming, like athletics, has many events. The Summer Olympic swimming events are the most famous global competitions for swimming, but the World Aquatics Championships are also considered major global events. The United States has dominated swimming in both the Olympics and the World Aquatics Championships, winning 302 gold medals in the World Aquatics Championships and 265 gold medals in the Summer Olympic swimming events across both men's and women's categories. Volleyball mainly has 2 types. They are indoor volleyball and beach volleyball. Let's start with the champions of beach volleyball. The FIVB Beach Volleyball World Championships is a major global event for this sport. Brazil has dominated both men's and women's beach volleyball. The Brazilian men's team has won 7 out of 14 tournaments, while the Brazilian women's team has won 6 out of 14 tournaments. When it comes to indoor volleyball, the FIVB Volleyball World Championship is the major global event. The Soviet Union men's team has won 6 championships out of 20 tournaments, and the Soviet Union women's team has won 5 out of 19 tournaments. Although the Soviet Union no longer exists, their championship records remain unbeaten by other countries. Handball is mainly popular in Europe, but other countries also have their national teams for handball. The IHF World Handball Championship is the major global tournament for the sport. The French men's team holds the record for the most championships, having won 6 out of 28 tournaments. In women's handball, determining the leading country is a bit more complicated. Both the Norwegian and Russian women's teams have won 4 championships out of 26 tournaments. Additionally, the former country, the Soviet Union, won 3 championships. Since Russia was part of the Soviet Union, we can say that Russia has had a significant influence in women's handball. Badminton has a huge fan base in China, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Singapore. However, it is also popular in other countries because it can be played almost anywhere. The BWF World Championships is a global event for badminton. China has dominated the championships in both men's and women's categories, winning 70 gold medals out of 140 events in the tournament's history. Water polo is popular in many European countries. The FINA Water Polo World Cup is the major global tournament for the sport. The Hungarian men's team has dominated the FINA Water Polo World Cup, winning 4 championships out of 17 tournaments. However, Serbia has won 3 championships and Yugoslavia has won 2. Since Serbia was part of the former Yugoslavia, this means Serbia has been involved in 5 championships. This makes it somewhat controversial to determine which men's team is the best in water polo. In the women's tournament, the Netherlands women's team has won 8 championships out of 18 tournaments. Archery has a rich history and is most famous in Asian countries, but Europe and North America also have passionate archery communities. When it comes to global tournaments, the Archery World Cup is the main event. South Korea has dominated the Archery World Cup, winning 168 gold medals across all men's and women's events. Tennis is one of the most popular sports worldwide. Unlike other sports, tennis doesn't have a single global event, but it features 4 major tournaments known as the Grand Slam tournaments. These are the most important annual professional tennis events. They are the Australian Open, the French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open. To determine the leading country in tennis, I have compiled the total Grand Slam titles by country. The United States holds 351 titles across both men's and women's categories in these 4 tournaments, showcasing their dominance in the sport. I hope you enjoyed this video. If this video gets 1,000 likes, I'll make a second part covering another 15 sports and their champion countries. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and explore other videos on this channel.